Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today talk about a film that, if you guys are familiar with my older channel, or not my older channel, but older videos before I deleted them, you guys will remember I did a review on this movie, and then I said I was a big fan of it. I can actually still say I'm a big fan of it. And it's a film that, like I said, I talked about before, and it still holds up. I still like it, still think it's really good, and it is Wolf Creek. Now, this is a movie that I really enjoy. Definitely a great horror movie. Came out in 2005 and got a sequel in 2013, which I haven't seen yet. I won't be reviewing the sequel right after this movie. I'll be doing other reviews. But whenever I get a chance, I will review Wolf Creek 2. But the movie gets 6.3 on IMDb and is directed by Greg McLean. Trying to see what else he's directed. But the main things I really enjoy about this movie is the fact that it opens up talking about how there are these people in Australia who, when going there, they disappear. And it talks about hundreds and hundreds of people who disappear going to Australia. And these sort of outback sort of country areas. And, you know, the outback. And I really enjoyed just the fact of how real it seemed. Because, like I said, the best movie that's done that is the original Texas Massacre. Because of the way it was shot, the way it was acted, it just seemed like a very real film. And very rarely now do you get a horror movie that doesn't look Hollywood. Well, in my opinion, Wolf Creek doesn't look Hollywood. It kind of has a realistic feel to it. It's definitely a gritty movie. A very realistic feel to it. And it's a very pulse-pounding movie. You know, there are certain scenes that are just really suspenseful, scenes that you can remember, and scenes that are just, some of them are gross, some of them are just disturbing, some of them are just altogether end up being a very, very scary sort of realistic movie. And like I said, it was directed by Greg McLean, who directed Rogue, Wolf Creek 2, and ICQ. Now, Wolf Creek and Wolf Creek 2 are the only movies I've ever heard of him that he's directed. But, you know, like I said, it isn't a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie. The pace really isn't the best. You know, sometimes it does drag. The characters, you know, they're interesting characters. Not really much characters, but you know, the acting wasn't the problem. It was just sort of the characters weren't really developed that good, in my opinion. The leads were like, try to see the leads. Cassandra Magrath as Liz. And, you know, basically the lead characters, they were developed well. It was just, the sort of side characters. Also, the killer was developed well as well, but just some of the side characters really didn't get developed that much. But besides that, I really got no other problems. It's got a lot of practical effects to it, good practical effects. Atmosphere that just very, very sort of, just like I said, gritty and real. Realistic and gritty, and it just, you know, not since the original Texas Massacre has terror felt so real. Ken Fox from TV Guide said that. And I can agree with that. I mean, this movie is definitely up there with the realistic factor with TCM, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, you know, just there are certain movies that come out that feel real. They're not real, but they just feel real. Like, this movie is not real, but it just feels real. You know, and you're watching it, and you feel the terror that these people are going through. And, like I said, it's about these kids. They are going and partying and stuff like that, and they're on the road in Australia. Their car breaks down. They end up walking a little bit. Great camera work of the atmosphere and the outback. You can actually feel the heat, and you know there's like desert, sort of like dried up ground, and it's very, very just sort of shot very real. And I know I keep using that word a lot because I can't really use another word for describe this movie as, oh, it's gritty, and it's definitely a good movie. It's definitely creepy and scary, but the main word I gotta use for this movie is realistic. And because is it as realistic as the original Texas Massacre? I wouldn't say it's that realistic. I mean, the original Texas Massacre was very, very realistic. This is close, definitely up there with the movie, but it's not as realistic as that movie. But still, it still, like I said, just has a very real feeling to it. And they're out there, and they're stranded, and at night, this guy pulls up. Try to get the character's name. I think it was Mick Taylor. Yeah, Mick Taylor, played by John Jarrett. He was from Django Unchained, Australia, Wolf Creek 2. He announced Wolf Creek 3. Really, going to be awesome. A Wolf Creek TV miniseries, which is going to be good. He's been in Savage's Crossing, Australia, The Final Winter, Dead Heart. He did a great job as the killer in this movie. He was a very sort of creepy character, sort of this perverted, demented character who, at first, seemed like he's gonna help the people out. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my jumper cables. Charge your guys' battery all up. You guys be good to go." And pretty much, they get in their car, they fall asleep, and when they wake up, the lead girl is tied by her hands. And she has to escape this very, very creepy looking atmosphere of, his trailer's right here, and there's cars everywhere, fires everywhere, broken parts and stuff like that, and, just trash and very, very creepy looking atmosphere. Pretty much his yard, and it's way out in the middle of the desert, way out in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. Not the desert, but it's way out in the middle of nowhere. And, she wakes up, she breaks the window, basically gets untied, and she walks over to the, garage, and her friend is tied up, and he's sort of torturing her, and you see this dead body in the background, and I know that it's not much of a big makeup effect or anything like that, but it looked like a real freaking dead body. Just the way that it looked, the makeup effect's done very well. It's seemed like you were really watching something happen. And it's hard for a movie to do that because it's fake. But when you're watching this scene, it is so scary and creepy because he's enjoying the pain and suffering these kids are going through. He's enjoying this. And like I said, just to look at the dead body in the back, it looked like a real freaking dead body. Of course it wasn't, but it was just the makeup effects. And the way that it was shot. And the angle just seemed like a very real situation. And, she pretty much breaks in there, knocks the guy out, rescues her friend. Her and her friend trying to escape. They drive out in the middle of basically the outback, pretty much the country part of Australia, the outback. And, one thing leads to another, they're getting chased by this character. Their Jeep flips over. They get out of it before it flips over. He still looks for them. They go back to the house because there's nowhere else to go. They go back to the trailer. Not a house, but a trailer. Goes back there. And this is a very shocking scene where, and I gotta give the movie that as well. The movie is very unpredictable. You don't know who's gonna live and die. You really don't. Because at this point, the lead girl, she goes into the garage trying to hotwire a car. And then out of freaking nowhere, this killer used a huge freaking hunter's knife, like this big, stabs her right in the back, like right here on the neck, and you find that he cut her spine, so she can't move. She just pretty much this shot right here, where she lays on the ground, she's paralyzed, and then he kills her. And then basically the other girl, she tries to run away from the area, and this is also very, very shocking, definitely an emotional scene, just the way that it was shot. Was very, very sad in a way. Made you feel very, very sorry for the character because she finds this car after running until daylight. She was pretty much out there at night. She ran on the road until daytime. And this car pulls up, and it's this old man. He's like, "Okay, I'll take you back to town and get you some help." And the old man gets sniped right in the freaking head. He's like, boom! Good shot. The girl's running. She gets shot a couple times until she slowly dies from bleeding out and stuff like that. And then it comes down to the last character, who is basically the lead character, who is the male character. He is back at pretty much, let me see what his name is. Ben Mitchell. He's back at the trailer, and he's been put in this really weird sort of trap where his hands right here have got nails through them, and he's got to pull his hands through the nails, and he crawls out of there, runs away. Pretty much, he finds out he lives, and that's, I can give the movie that. This was like a really depressing ending where it was like, oh, he's running, he's getting ready to escape, but he gets shot in the head or something like that. At least it wasn't like that. He almost dies, where he's pretty much, it's not even the guy, Nathan Phillips, it's not even Nathan Phillips, or not Nathan Phillips, John Jarrett, and it's not even John Jarrett who, is getting ready to kill him, or Mick Taylor is the character called in the movie. It's not even the, character Mick from the movie who's gonna kill him. It's the atmosphere, the desert sort of outback atmosphere, and he's running in the desert, and, you know, he's basically running like 100-degree weather, no water, no food. He's out there for a couple days. His feet are blistered up. You think that he's gonna die, and then these people find him, and he gets basically taken to the hospital. Tells them about what happened, and then it says like thousands of people, or not thousands, but hundreds of people, get kidnapped and stuff like that, and then explains, you know, that sort of, you know, in the outback people can disappear and stuff like that, and then the movie ends, and pretty much it's a very shocking movie. Definitely, like I said, very realistic, very gritty, and I think if you're a fan of horror movies, you're definitely gonna enjoy the movie. It's just a well done movie. It's well done, well acted. Character development wasn't really the strongest, but the acting wasn't terrible. Atmosphere was there, score was there, very creepy sounding score, and it was shot well, like I said, directed well, and, you know, just a very overall well done movie. Also, in the movie, the characters seem not much development to them, but they seem like real people in this real situation. And like I said, that also is an element that adds on to the realism of the movie, is that it just seems very real. It's not, or actually it says it's based on true events. So based on true events. I didn't even see that. Based on true events, I guess it might be real. I mean, not true story, but the events of people disappearing in the backwoods, not backwoods, but the outback and Australia, that part could be real. So, creepier now that I know that this is based off of real events. I didn't even know that till now. Honestly, I didn't even know that. I didn't see it up there. I didn't know it said that. I know it was like, well, how come you didn't see it, man? You should have seen it. I guess I just didn't notice it before. But yeah, based on true events, I didn't know that. Now that made it more creepy. So knowing that it's based on true events is more creepy. So, and then also, that's why they have to, in the movie, they tell you about how thousands, I keep saying thousands, hundreds of people every year get, you know, kidnapped in the outback. They're never found. And, you know, it talks about that. And, you know, just a very creepy movie. Very unsettling, very creepy, very realistic, very gritty. And definitely a horror movie to check out. So, thanks for watching my review on Wolf Creek, and I will see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.